Today we're talking about how to reconnect with your ex without pressure or without playing games. Now I know this probably isn't the first video like this that you've seen. I know you've probably seen other videos out there that tell you to do things like, just use no contact on them, ignore them. Eventually they'll buckle under the pressure and come crawling back to you over broken shards of glass begging for you back. Or to, post pictures all over your social media of you out in some, club doing whatever with attractive people of the opposite sex, and make sure that they'll see it so they feel jealous and they think that they're losing their hold on you, and they reach out to you out of desperation to stay in control and to beg for you back, or other sorts of similar tactics. But if there's one thing I know about you, is that sort of stuff kind of makes you feel gross, makes you feel kind of sad and disappointed. Like, if that's what it really takes to have a good relationship, like, are we really this sort of, lizard brain, Darwinian kind of species, or is there maybe something better about us? And I mean, the truth is you get to choose. You get to choose. Like, if you want to just opt into that, red pill, we all just have sexual market value and all you got to do is just be hot and rich and everything, and then you'll get everything that you want. Like, you can play that game, and there's enough people out there that will play that game with you that you will get confirmation in your view of the world. That's how it works. If you want to just surround yourself with vapid narcissists and shallow materialistic people, that's one way to play life. But I'm guessing that's not you. If it is you, this channel's definitely not for you. Please leave. Stay here if you know that your life is about something better. If you know that your relationship is about more than just, negging someone and putting them down with a backhanded compliment, or, just to lower their self-esteem and trigger their insecurity, and all that nonsense garbage. What you want to do is you want to act like a grown-ass adult. Because you probably want to have a grown-ass adult relationship. You want to have one where you can be yourself. You want to have one where your partner is totally on board with you. You want to have one where that both of you want the same things, so that you're on the same side. You're not just fighting for their attention, trying to, isolate them from the next person who's a little bit better than you or something like that, so that they don't leave you for them. And in order to be there and do that, you have to stop playing that game. You have to be willing to opt out of that game. And when you do, mysteriously, magically, all the shallow, materialistic, vapid narcissists will just somehow disappear from your life. And suddenly a new cast of characters will suddenly show up in your surroundings. People who, interestingly enough, want to play this authentic game. People who, interestingly enough, actually value integrity, honesty, transparency, authenticity, etc. When that's what you bring to the table, you'll naturally repel and be repelled by people who are wanting to play on that shallow level. It'll just be like you're on a totally different wavelength. And so what you want to do is you want to bring authenticity to the table. You want to bring the opportunity to connect to the table. Be willing to bring that yourself. Be willing to be vulnerable. I said, I don't know, a year or so ago, that I thought that we were at this place in time where it's pretty obvious that vulnerability is actually a good thing. I think I was overshooting it there. Some experiences I've had with people over the past year or so have told me that, maybe I was giving people too much of the benefit of the doubt. There's definitely a lot of people out there that think vulnerability is still a weakness. As shocking as that is to me. Maybe I just surround myself with too many people that, see the value in vulnerability and honesty and authenticity and all that. That can be your reality too. Yes, you may lose some people in your life. You may lose some friends. You may even lose the specific person you might want to be in a relationship with right now. But you know what? It's better that you do that now than to have to contort yourself into some sort of inauthentic shape just to win their love. Because that tells you that they would never love you for who you are, that they would never want to commit to you because of who you are. They would only want to commit to you because, you played the game the right way, you flashed the money the right way, you had the right body proportions, you wore the right revealing clothes, you wore the right designer brand stuff that signaled status or whatever shallow, materialistic, stupid thing that they might be into. And if that's the case, better to find out now. Cut your losses, move on, and find somebody who is aligned with the kind of life and relationship and values that you want. Better to cut your losses now than to spend another 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years trying to force something to work that just isn't aligned to who you are. Because there's something in you that yearns for something more. And you need to respect that. Because if you have to give up yourself in order to be with somebody, there's always a part of you that's going to resent them for that. There's always a part of you that's going to resent yourself for that. And there's always going to be a part of you that feels as if there's something missing in your relationship. And that's going to cause you to, somehow make things blow up or somehow, not show up in whatever way, you think you need to in order to keep the relationship going. And that's just going to lead to future problems down the road. I want you to spare yourself all of that headache. I want you to spare yourself all of that stress and just find out now. People often ask me, go like, hey, I think my ex is testing me. I think, what do I do? How do I pass the tests? The thing is, I want you to be testing them too. And the way that you can do that, not in some, calculated Machiavellian way or anything like that, but just to show up, welcoming and inviting authenticity, and see if they just fucking match you there. See if they just meet you halfway. If they do, they pass the test. If they don't, then that tells you who they are. That tells you where they're at. And you want to take that. And you want to use that as feedback about where they're at and what that's going to be like. If they're unreliable, if they're not willing to be open and honest and genuine, if they're not willing to be forgiving and flexible, what's that going to be like in your relationship down the road? I mean, I don't know where you're at in your stage of life, but, if you're a young person trying to, get married and start a family or something, like what's that going to be like when the two of you have kids? Like if they're unforgiving now, are they going to be unforgiving for your future kids? If they're inflexible now, are they going to be inflexible for your future kids? Is that something that you can build a relationship or a family on? If they can't prioritize, the needs of others, what's that going to be like when you've been married for 10 years and you got 2 kids? I don't want you to have to find that out the hard way, because they're telling you right now who they are. They're telling you right now what their nature is. I want you to be listening, not trying to force something to work with somebody who's unable to show up in the way that you want them to. And the best way to find out real fast is to show up in the way that you want to have a relationship with somebody. And chances are pretty good, if you're watching this video, if you're watching me anyway, that's about authenticity, integrity, emotional honesty, transparency. To me, these are really important things that a relationship should be built on. And I want to find out, like if I was single, I would want to find out if my future partner was able or willing to embody these things. Before I walked down the aisle with them, before I had a couple kids with them. That's really what you got to do. I hope you can find the courage to do it. If you like this video, please make sure you like it and subscribe to this channel. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.